Loading. Hi, you guys. Okay, happy Friday. We love Fridays around here. Happy Friday. Good to see you guys. Jump on in. Grab your coffee, your tea. The sun was shining this morning in Minnesota, and now it kind of went away. So we're a little gloomy, Gus, but that's all right. We have sunshine going on in our hearts. That's what matters. It's sunshine in our hearts, people. How are you doing? We have another week that just passed, and we are looking straight at a weekend in the face. Are you excited? Do you have anything really cool going on? I would love to know. Let me know in the comments. Let me know if you're on the replay. And I haven't said it for a while, but hit the follow button. If you need consistent information, education, hope in your heart, for turning back insulin resistance. So we've been doing this show Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time for like a year and three quarters. And I'll tell you, it's just been extremely, it's been like beneficial for people, but it's been heartwarming for me. And you guys create my content. I hope you know that. It's what you're telling me in the back, like conversations that help to create the content. I'm in Minnesota, and I was born and raised here, and I was raised by an Italian daddy. And he's 100% Italian. My mother was 100% Swedish. I know, really strange. And just riddled with type 2 diabetes and obesity all over my family, like the extended family. Family get-togethers were just like all about big bellies and lots of food, etc. And he was insulin dependent. And my entire life, like when I got married at like 22. And I just remember thinking, I hope my dad lives long enough to walk me down the aisle. That's how much I understood what was happening in terms of his health. And he took his 50s and he went like this with his health, just, and he was dead at 63. And I watched it all happen. I watched the whole level of medicine, like pill bottles, fill up on his, Lazy Susan, or he'd have them all lined up at the kitchen table, and he would sit at the end of the kitchen table and he would take all of his meds and inject his insulin and do all the things. But then his function was so poor because of it, right? Because his medicine was fighting to function and his body was failing. And so his heart, he had many heart surgeries, pacemaker, and then his kidneys. And if you know anything about, insulin resistance gone wrong, right? Kidneys take the beating, right? So at the end, he was on dialysis for 2 years. And so this was obviously very impactful for me. It's all I knew. So, I was 30 when he was gone, and I had already had 3 children. And at the time of his death, they were 6 years, 3 years, and 6 months old. So they missed out completely, 100% missed out on their Italian grandpa. Total tragedy over something that was never meant to be a terminal diagnosis. So I'm super passionate. I'm super opinionated. I like to research it because I decided for myself, I pretty much will not be doing what he just did. Like, so not interested. But I had no idea how to do it. I had no idea how to change it around. I was very disconnected from my body. I was not taking care of myself. I was not taking corresponding action my entire 30s. It wasn't until my 40s that I was just this freaking hot mess express. And I didn't do anything until my upper 40s. And that should give every single person hope. You should have hope in your heart just because I didn't do anything until my upper 40s. Because then what happened was, instead of me having my function completely go like into the toilet in my 50s, I went the opposite direction. I was like, okay, I'm going to take a completely different path. I literally did the polar opposite. He had prescriptions. I took supplements. He, traded out his foods in one way that, whatever. I did it a completely different way. And I'll tell you, what are my results? Well, I lost 3 sizes in my 50s after my cycle stopped, which tells you that this is not impossible at all, because I am the least poster child for being able to actually accomplish anything like that. My entire life, I was bribed to diet when I was 11. I'm not even kidding you. I'm not on any meds. I'm 60 years old, and I'm the only person in my immediate family that has avoided type 2 diabetes. So I have learned at the feet of people like Dr. Ken Berry, Eric Berg, Maria Emmerich, Dr. Kiltz, the heart surgeon, Philip Ovadia. Like, these are the people that I love paying attention to because they have so much credibility in the field over so many decades. And now I'm like a total geek. I'm not a granola person. I wouldn't say that. I mean, I think that if you looked at me and how I ate, you'd probably think that I was, but I still like have my own like, cheats that would not be recommended by Maria Emmerich, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm super like, I do the best I can. And then I teach you to do the best you can. And both of us, we're going to do it without any shame. No shame, because you can't heal a body in shame. So that's where we are today. Good morning, Patty from California. Love, love, love that, Magda. Happy Friday, Magda, my New York friend, my New York buddy. Good to see you. Happy Friday, Geraldine. Peggy, good to see you. Susan, you guys are all here. This is amazing. I wish you guys all lived in Minnesota. We could do coffee. All right, come on, jump on in from TikTok. So follow, share information, subscribe, do whatever. If this is a world that you need to have a little bit more of, it's not uncommon for somebody to be like, I've been following you for a year, blah, blah, blah. And I love that because you can be a part of our little coffee talk, our little chat every morning, and stay encouraged and filled with hope. The next 5-day challenge that is free in the group, Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women. Please make sure you give your email, because they're just not going to let you in if you don't give your email at this point. And it's just because it has nothing to do with wanting to spam people. It has to do with wanting to be able to actually communicate, because Facebook groups are kind of interesting, right? Anyway, about notifications. So do that. But next one starts on Monday, November 3rd. So there you go. All right, let's jump in today. I got a text this morning, actually. And this kind of drove my conversation in my head about what I wanted to chat with you guys. So my heart is like super soft towards anybody who is taking care of a dementia parent. Super, super soft. Barb from Ontario. Good to see you, Barb. Good to see you. Come on in. My sister and I took care of my mom. So my dad died at 63, right? My mom was 65. So she just hit retirement and bam, her husband's gone over something that was not meant to be terminal. It's so stupid. It's so stupid that this is what we're doing in our society. And we're not giving people clear answers on how to turn back their insulin resistance. Like, this is so dumb. I do not understand why Dr. Ken Berry's advice is not on a poster in every single waiting room. Like, right? I mean, I know the answer to it, but that's criminal. That's ridiculous. Any hoodle. So she's 65. She loses her husband. Hurt. He's gone. And she then doesn't die until she's 94, which is amazing. But the last 5 years of her life, she had dementia, which is type 3 diabetes, insulin resistance of the brain, mixed with a couple other things, right? And she ends up with Alzheimer's, and we take care of her. And it's a very challenging season, right? Dementia sucks so bad. It's just so icky. And we did not want her to be in facilities. When she was in independent living when she was before the shutdown. The shutdown was in May of 2020, it was in March of 2020, but she was in independent living. And then she had just 2 weeks before the actual shutdown, she was moved into assisted living. And, which just meant that she had more people to check on her, including us, because I was already her assisted living. That's what I was doing. I quit corporate America to go do that, take care of her full time. So she lived independently, but we made sure her life was completely, created for her, because she was never going to go grocery shopping. She wasn't going to think about rotating her food. She wasn't going to throw anything out. She wasn't going to wrap up her garbage anymore. You understand. So I just went there every day, yada, yada. So the shutdown happens. And immediately in May of 2020, my sister and I went, no, thank you. We see the writing on the wall. We knew exactly what was going to happen, and exactly what we thought was going to happen completely happened. We knew that they were going to, I'm telling you, sometimes you just know stuff. I watched it. I was like, oh yeah, no, Lynn, this isn't going to work. We've got to take her out. They are going to, they're going to create a V, and then they're going to force it on them. And we're not going to be able to see her. She's going to be in isolation, and her body can't handle that. Can't handle the isolation, but also can't handle the V. She's compromised. She's compromised mentally. And so we can't have any more compromisation, because like this will go south really fast. And this was, anyway, and we were managing her world pretty well. And so we took her out. She went and lived with my sister for a couple of years. She ended up living with me, and then she passed. The reason why I'm telling you all of that is because that is a stressful situation to navigate. And this morning I got a text from somebody who, she has a mama who is in memory care. And so they're working on some of the details, and she had a question for me. And I'll tell you, sometimes we walk through pieces of our life that are very stressful, and we are in survival mode. But even though we're navigating it really well, I would say that in general, I navigated it really well. I stayed true to what I was working on, so that because I knew that the moment would come where she would die, and then I would need to have my life about me. Like I would have to know what I was doing next, right? Like it wasn't so all consuming that I wasn't taking steps towards what was going to happen once she passed, which is this business. And so I did that, and I felt like I was navigating it really well, but I don't think I ever realized that my cortisol was still pretty high, and that I was still kind of in fight or flight all the time, especially when she lived with me. Every noise, you're like, because what's the thing you're scared of the most is that they're going to fall, right? Well, it really wasn't at that moment that I understood. It wasn't until later that I understood that stress of any kind, whatever you're going through in your world, and maybe for you, the holidays coming up are stressful because maybe you have maybe there's a lot of pressure to perform. Maybe there's just a lot of gatherings. Maybe your calendar gets super busy. I have a business team member who, a girl on my team who she's a hairstylist, and she's been a hairstylist for 29 years. She has a very full packed calendar during Christmas. Christmas is her tax season, right? Because everybody wants to get their hair done for all the pictures and the holidays and everything. And so she's like, boom, 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 boom. Her calendar is full. So she goes into the holidays knowing that this is going to be stressful. And I just don't think people understand what's happening when you have stress in your body, no matter to what level. Like hers isn't like, she doesn't dread the holidays. She just knows it is what it is, but it's still raising cortisol. So let's talk about how that's keeping you then pretty much like from losing fat. Like your stress is actually a fat blocker. And we don't think of it that way, right? Sometimes I feel like maybe we think about like, oh, I'm so stressed out, I never eat. Or so therefore I should be fine. And what we don't realize is that just because you're maybe consuming less calories because which is a lot of people are the opposite too. You're stressed, so you're eating more. But let's pretend you're somebody that I barely eat. I don't even know why do I keep gaining belly fat? Why is the belly fat there? Why can't I get this under control? Well, let's talk about that today and get that kind of wrapped up in a little bow for you, so that as you go into the holidays, you're like, oh, okay, I just need to be mindful. I need to put a few things into place, because nobody's going to do it for you. Okay. And they don't have to be huge and they don't have to be massive, but you do have to be mindful of your own circumstances. I've said it so many times now. The best gift that you can give yourself is the gift of assessment. You have to be able to assess yourself. Being self-aware, super important, not just for you, but for the people around you and the relationships that you're in. Like you have to become self-aware. And maybe that sounds psychologically mumbo jumbo, but I'm just telling you, it gives you so much clarity and peace, because then you know exactly why you're doing it, how you're doing it, like what is your purpose for doing it, and you'll create a streamlined routine for yourself that makes you feel, it makes sense in your brain. So therefore you're like, I'm just going to stay on my path. My little path is taking me somewhere. And maybe you haven't had that feeling ever. Maybe you only know chaos. So that's where you have to rein it in a little bit. Lori, good morning from Wisconsin. Ontario. Okay, I already saw that. Saw Barb. Lori, that's so great. Good to see you. I know. Here we are facing winter. I'm already dreaming about getting out of Minnesota. It's okay. It's okay. It really is. It really is. Okay. So let's jump in. Let's talk about this. Let's get this to make sense in your brain so that you will actually you'll actually take care of yourself and get different results, right? So nobody maybe has told you that stress raises insulin more than sugar. And what do we know? We know that when your insulin is high, you cannot burn fat. So you're like, what is wrong with me? Why can't I lose fat? Oh my gosh, this is terrible. And you're just like, belly fat is just like growing out of nowhere. You're like, what do I have, an alien inside of me? This is ridiculous. Well, if you don't get your insulin down, you're not going to burn that fat. And if your liver is sluggish, you're not going to burn that fat. Okay. But you're like, but I'm eating better. Like my carbs are way low. I'm eating clean. I even gave up keto snacks. Like I don't understand. And then, oh, but I am working an overnight shift. Oh, but I am taking care of an elderly parent. Oh, but I am dealing with maybe a spouse's health issues and they're in the hospital a lot. And I got a lot going on. I've had that too. And they just can't get the results that they're looking for because the stress is just a little too high. And that's just reality. And so sometimes you just need to maintain while you're in the stress so that you can move forward when it releases. Okay. So you can eat perfectly and still spike your insulin. Everyone talks about sugar raising insulin, which is 100% true. And when I teach food, I teach grain-free, sugar-free, legume-free. But nobody may have told you that stress can raise it even more. You can be eating clean, tracking your carbs, doing all the right things, and still keeping your fat-burning switch off. So dang frustrating because of your stress response. So if you've ever felt like you're eating right, but your body's not changing, this might be why. Your thoughts, your thoughts, your deadlines, even that constant mental load. Okay. Your body reads all of that as danger. And when you are under stress, your body releases sugar. You got to listen to this now. You have to pause for 2 seconds and you need to understand what's happening inside of your body, because once this makes sense, you will be more intentional in your movement of action for your own routine. Okay. When you're under stress, your body releases sugar into your blood, even if you didn't eat anything. Then insulin comes in to deal with it and the cycle repeats. Okay. So your body, remember, your body was created to heal. Your body was created to function. It fights to function. It will constantly fight to function. And it's just the way it was made. You're made in the image of God. So your body is like fearfully and wonderfully made. Like this is not just another machine. Like this is the highest form of machine, right? And so it's going to fight to function. And so when you're under stress, your body is going to release sugar into your blood, even though you didn't eat any food. So you're like, I'm living on black coffee, baby. Like, I don't even have time to stop and eat. How in the world could I be constantly growing a belly? Well, here we go, right? So cortisol and adrenaline. How stress spikes your insulin. Cortisol and adrenaline equal a sugar dump. And cortisol is a hormone. It's your stress hormone, right? Insulin is a hormone. GLP-1 is a hormone. Leptin is a hormone. Your hunger hormone, ghrelin. These are all hormones. It's all a hormonal conversation. This is not a calorie in, calorie out conversation. It's hormones. But they've got you chasing points. And they've got you chasing prepackaged, barcoded foods. I'm just saying, this is a hormonal conversation. So when you are stressed, your body thinks it needs energy to escape. Okay, let's get some energy so we can run fast the other way. That's what your body's thinking. When your liver dumps stored sugar, which is glucose, into your bloodstream, this is where it kind of all begins. Your insulin rises to clear that sugar, even though no food was involved. It's like your body hits the panic button, like bam, and insulin rushes in to clean up the mess or stress, the mess that your stress just made on your body. Just bam, right? So more insulin equals more fat storage. More stress equals more cravings for quick carbs. Quick, hurry, eat. You set your alarm for my show? I am so blessed by you. Thank you for saying that. You are so sweet. I love that. You guys do have to set alarms because this is why I'm like, you have to give your email to get into the group at this point. We're over 6,000 females in there. And I'll tell you, the notifications. So it does help. A phone and alarms are a really good way to run your life. My teammate, she uses her alarm just to remember to take her vitamins. Okay, so more stress equals more cravings for quick carbs, and that constant roller coaster keeps your body in storage mode, not fat burning mode. Okay, that constant roller coaster keeps your body in storage mode and not fat burning mode. And that is super frustrating. So let me show you how this plays out in your real life. And you'll see that it's not just about food. It's just not. Oh my goodness. Ida from Antigua, get out. That's amazing. Barb, you had a kneecap replacement yesterday. Holy cannoli. How are you doing, Barb? How are you doing? Oh my stars. Jody says she's been there. Lori's laughing at me. I never know what I say, but it's something. Sharon, good morning from beautiful BC, British Columbia. So good to see you. Antigua. I'm still stuck on Antigua. That's amazing, Aida. All I know about that is a song, right? That's all I know. Okay, so here we go. I cracked myself up. So you wake up and maybe you're already anxious. Is that a part of your life? You wake up and you're kind of like, okay, cortisol is spiking even before breakfast, even before you get going for the day. You skip eating or you just grab coffee, then you have a blood sugar crash and more cortisol. Maybe you're scrolling emails or social media chaos. Stop it, right? Stress hormones rise again. You push through the day without breaks, and your adrenaline keeps your insulin high because you're just like, go, 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 go. I know somebody who was so stressed out at her job. This was a very, very long time ago. She was so stressed out, she didn't even realize that her blood pressure was rising so much. She had blood coming out of the corner of her eye. That's how high her blood pressure got. Okay, then we're not assessing ourselves really well, correct? Maybe you fall into bed wired but tired, and poor sleep keeps cortisol elevated overnight. You never get a break, and neither did your insulin. So you have to assess yourself. Is this you? You wake up and you're already anxious. You're skipping your eating and you're just grabbing coffee. You're scrolling your emails or your social media all the time. And it's just like chaos. There's chaos in your emails. There's chaos all over the world. And you're just like constantly boom, 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 right at you, right? Your stress hormones are just rising. Maybe you're pushing through the day without breaks because you have deadlines, or maybe you have a mental load going on. I know that with my mother having dementia, I just was on alert all the time. I was just, you didn't get a break unless my sister was taking care of her. And then I'm still waking up thinking, will I get a phone call? Right? Like you're just kind of like, you don't even realize there's that low level anxiety going on. And maybe you fall into bed wired but tired. And so then you end up having poor sleep, and it's keeping your cortisol is keeping your insulin high all night long. And you never get a break. So constant stress equals chronically high insulin, stubborn belly fat. This is the one we hate the most, right? Poor sleep. Maybe that's the one we hate the most. I don't know. Maybe that's the one. Sugar cravings, hormone chaos. Your body literally forgets. Listen to this sentence. Your body literally forgets how to burn fat. because it thinks it's in survival mode. Your thyroid slows, your progesterone drops, your estrogen goes rogue, all because of insulin and stress talking behind your back. Not people, your insulin and your stress. Just so that you know. So it's not just your food, it's your thought life keeping your body in fat storage. Thoughts are things. Thoughts are things. Think about it. So I always, talk about how to turn back around your insulin resistance. I never really, I don't think that I thought it was a thing. I just wanted things to be better. So I didn't have a goal like you guys are maybe thinking in your head, oh yeah, no, I actually want to turn around my insulin resistance. I didn't even know what insulin resistance was. Like, why would I know what insulin resistance is? That's kind of how I felt. Because nobody was talking about it. It was not a common conversation on the internet, like at all. And so what you need to know is if you're coming at this from the perspective of you're really tired of your belly fat, you're tired of being exhausted, you're tired of not sleeping, you're tired of feeling stressed out, you're tired of feeling like just really like your liver is super sluggish and you've just like, nah, right? That's what you need to know is that you can get those symptoms better. And I'm going to go back to even what Patty had said the other day. She said, Barb says that this makes so much sense, matches my life for the last 4 years. I know, you guys, it's really helpful when we can talk from experience and help each other out, right? Today feels like I'm a therapist and I'm like, Lynn, you're so freaking hilarious. We have to do coffee sometime, Lynn. She says, it feels like you're a therapist. I'm laying on your couch, the cortisol, decades worth of it. It's because Lynn is a stranger friend to me. Like, great. You guys are just my friends, but I've not met you guys. But she had a job that was sucking the life out of her. Anywho, Lori. I know, right? It's just I don't know if that's Minnesotan or if that's just me. Marilyn, good to see you. I'm so thirsty today. What's up? Oh, you're doing quite well. Yay. That's a lot, right? Surgery is a lot. And that's another point of this whole thought process, right? Stress from surgery or the buildup of anesthesia or the meds that you have to take ahead of time or the meds that you have to take after, you're trying to get your body to flush. My mom ended up having so many hip surgeries and then a knee replacement, all of these things. And every time, the last time when she had a knee replacement surgery, she was very old at that time. She was in her 80s, I believe. But I'll tell you, that's when I finally saw her dementia. And I just think her body was done. It couldn't clear it anymore. So if we know that our body gets to that point where it can't clear things anymore, it can't clear stress, it can't clear meds, it can't do things, but we keep piling on the meds and we keep piling on the whatever. At some point, our body just says kind of, I'm done, right? So let's do what we're doing now on the offense. All right, let's do what we're doing now. So anyway, that's just kind of where my brain is at for just a half a second. So I'm going to go ahead and talk about turning back your insulin resistance. You know that I teach food. I teach grain-free, sugar-free, and legume-free. And it's not because God made bad food. It's because when you're insulin resistant and you actually really have a goal of turning that back around so that you can take back your life, that is the easiest way. That is the fastest way to go, oh, I can still be a foodie. I'm just going to trade out my pantry. It's why I've done, it'll be our 30th 5-day challenge coming up in November 30th, so that you can see what it looks like to have a different pantry, a different refrigerator, but I still make all the same foods. And it does not mean that I fixed my emotional eating overnight or my stress eating overnight. That's not what that means. It means that you trade out your foods and then you kind of cheat within your own parameters, which might stall you out, but at least it doesn't put you down like a binge again of processed foods, because they are very addicting and we all know that. But then secondarily, well, for me, it was first I did my supplementation, then I did food. A lot of you Well, a lot of you are doing both at the same time. I would say that the majority of you that are on the total body reset, you're doing both at the same time, but you understand that it's maybe easier to be a little more consistent with your supplementation, and you're trying to get your food to kind of like rise to the occasion. And you're getting there, but you're hearing me when I say have some grace for yourself, because it does take a minute. It took me a while to trade out my foods. So you have to have grace, and you do have to have a mindset of a little bit of a longer term journey. You can't be like, you're going to get this fixed overnight. Don't do that to yourself. So I talk about the total body reset, and I'm going to do that right now. And I will just remind TikTok amazing people, I can't show you stuff because if I do, they flag me. So I can't do that. But I will say that there's a link in my bio right on my profile. And when you go to it, it looks just like this with my face. And when you scroll up, you're going to see these 4 buttons. And these are what I'm going to talk about right now. I'm actually going to talk about the 4th button that says the total body reset. The other 3 buttons are just, and I have to be careful about that too. Why am I showing you that? Because I might get a thingamajig, a violation, because I'm trying to take you off the APP. So anyway, so these 4 are what I'm going to talk about. This total body reset is right here. And then the other ones, these are just 3 different configurations of the same thing. Of the same 6 products, because people start at different paces and at different places. But a little over 10 years ago, because I was not willing to change up my foods, and I just completely being honest with you, I, in my head, said pretty much that's not going to happen. But I was scared. I was scared about where my sugars were at. I was scared about whether or not I was presenting any symptoms of type 2. And I didn't want to go to the doctor to find out. I had already been gestational diabetic in my 20s. With my first baby, I was hypoglycemic with my second. I spent the next 20 years doing freaking nothing. And I was scared. So I decided that I would just do supplementation, because like me not being a supplementer, why not? Like, it's kind of stupid, but it's just the way that it is. So I started with these. These are the trio. These are the 3 supplements that have the 3 ingredients that help with insulin sensitivity. And this is just where I started. I kind of was like, look, Mom, I'm taking some supplements, because she was so annoying about my sugars. Kirsten, do you go to the doctor? Do you ever get your sugars checked? Your dad died of type 2 diabetes. You're gaining weight, because I was a 2X in size with no turnaround in sight. Kind of that freight train. Like when I say I was a hot mess express, I mean, I was a hot mess express, like barreling into just terrible menopause and type 2 diabetes. Like just the edge of the cliff was right there, right there. And that's where I started. But I didn't understand at the time the good that I was doing. So basically, this one is a glucose and an insulin helper. This one is a liver helper, and this one is a metabolism helper. And all 3 of them together are kind of this trio of help for my system to get up and running, because the 2 things that I needed to fix was I needed to bring down my insulin in order to burn fat, and I needed to get my liver function up in order to burn fat. I talk every day about liver, insulin, and gut. And that's what the total body reset is going to completely cover. It's going to cover all of it. And then if you need extra stuff for stress, I can help you, like with an adaptogenic herb. I have a phenomenal magnesium and ashwagandha, et cetera, to help with the extra stress if you need that, but not everybody does. So that's half of the total body reset right there. There's half of it right there, 3. Here's the next 3. There's a gut primer, there's a probiotic, and then there is a visceral fat burner, which is a belly fat burner. Okay, so let's look at the gut primer for just a second. Deborah says, I couldn't get you on Facebook. So you went to Insta, but couldn't comment there. What? So now you're back on Facebook. Oh, she says, but you're amazing. It's worth it. Oh, you're just a wonderful person, Deborah. You are awesome. I love you. You guys are so great. So this is the gut primer. This is what it looks like. It's a green powder. And I already took my 1 little scoop in cold water this morning, and I frothed it up with my frother. That's what I did. And this is 6 different blends. So I know that you can find greens products anywhere and everywhere, all over, the TikTok shop or a Facebook ad, or you've got a friend maybe taking a greens product. There's one that's popular. It starts with a B. That's not this. No confusion. Do not be confused. A greens product, I do not think, in my opinion, will get you the results of getting off of a reflux med, getting off of over-the-counter constipation meds. I'm trying to think of all the things. Helping somebody who has short gut syndrome, which means that there was a lot of diarrhea. Helping somebody who had eczema on her body, I think it was on her elbows and her ankles. I think it was for 2 years, and couldn't get that to regulate. Like, because this is pre and postbiotic and digestive enzyme, and the greens are already fermented. Everything is off of organic farming. Like, this is a gastrointestinal daily primer. It's like the whole kit and caboodle in one container. Okay. I'm going to show you this as a probiotic, but I'm also going to tell you this is the balance one that has 5 strains, but I'm just going to set that down for a minute because today we talked about stress. If you're grabbing the Total Body Reset, whether it's your first time ever or it's as a refill, you could trade out this one for a stress probiotic that is a pill. And it's been formulated to help with stress. And even my daughter, she has 3 babies under the age of 4. And so her life is a little stressful at times. They're all boys. Pray for her. Seriously, no, really, pray for her right now. Bow your heads. I'm just kidding. I'm like, oh my gosh, she's doing so much more than I ever did. She's phenomenal. But anyway, seriously, she's raising these babies and making sourdough and like harvesting her garden. And I'm like, I don't know who you are, but that's not who I was. OMG. But anyway, there's a stress relief probiotic. And she says, Mom, I take it and I can actually feel it take off the edge. And I'm like, isn't that interesting? We would never think that that's true of a probiotic. Like, that doesn't seem like that would be a normal reaction to a probiotic. So there's a stress probiotic. And then the very last one, the 6th piece of the Total Body Reset is this. And this is a visceral belly fat burner. So you have to understand that when you are insulin resistant and you have, and insulin is a fat storing hormone, it's laying down your fat right here from your trunk, under your bust, all the way down. That's your trunk. That's where all the visceral fat comes in, because that's where all of your intestines are. That's where your liver and all of your internal organs are, right? It's in your trunk. Your liver's not in the back of your thigh, right? Your intestines aren't here in your arm. It's all in your trunk right here. And that's where all of that visceral fat is getting laid down. And you need to target it and get it to go freaking away. And how do you know it's going away? Well, it's the measuring thing. So I've got these little measuring, oopsie, I literally just picked it up incorrectly. Made a mess. Have a measuring tape. Get yourself a measuring tape, because you're going to want to know. You're going to want to know how many inches that you have lost. And over the course of a year of doing the Total Body Reset, Magda lost 14 inches all in here. 6 alone, just from underneath her bra. 5 from her waist. 3 from her hips. It's targeting that internal fat. So that is the Total Body Reset. 6 simple pieces. 6 simple pieces that you can do and be rewarded for doing. And what I mean by that is, not only do you get free shipping on this, but you also, this is such a good deal. I'm going to say it, and I'm going to trust that I'm saying it right. Okay. So everybody just listen in, but yet on the other hand, just know that if I have to correct myself, I will, but I think I'm right. Currently, the customer campaign is that when you go 3 months in a row of 150 or more, on your 3rd month, they will erase $75. It's a lot. So just think about this for a second. October, November, December, $75 off that 3rd month. They cut it in half for you. Okay. They are announcing a little bit of extra bonus, something for the December, January people. So if you go October, November, December, and you get your $75 off, don't miss January. Don't miss January because they're going to give you another $50 off. So that, I think I'm speaking it right. I wouldn't speak it if I thought it was wrong. But they will officially announce that. But I want you to understand that if you have ever sat around and you've gone, I don't feel like I'm being heard. I don't feel like anybody else, like I'm trying to get people to understand maybe the stress that I'm under, or I'm trying to get people to understand the, like my life is hard, or I just, nobody's listening to me. Nobody's hearing me. I go to the doctor and I'm like, something's not right. And they just keep throwing scripts at me. And I hear from you guys a lot. I do not want, they're trying to get me to take a GLP-1 and I don't want to take it. Or they're trying to put me on Met and I don't want to take it. And I hear you. And I know that it can feel very frustrating that over here, this script can get covered. Maybe for some, it's not, for different things. And that you choose supplementation and then it's not covered. And you can't like submit it to your HSA. You can't code it and send it into your insurance company. They're not interested in that. They're not interested in you turning anything around. They're not interested in actually having you heal. And I'm telling you, if you want to learn how to support the healing and the sealing of your gut and your own body, this is such a beautiful way to start. This is such a beautiful way. And I just can tell you the stories, right? I will never make claims, but I will tell you, I have story after story after story after story. Inches, meds gone, weight gone, fatty liver MRI better, liver. Three of the 6 are helping you with your liver. And this is how you can start to feel better. And Patty said, and I just keep bringing her up, she said it the other day on the live here. She said, I can't tell you, I feel so alive. I can't tell you how good that feels. I feel so alive. She's been on it for 4 months. And it's just because you're targeting the internal. You're not trying to hack anything. You're not trying to put a Band-Aid on anything. You're not trying to, there's no jazz hands here. There's nothing beautifully packaged or anything specially marketed, or it's just me. It's just little old me. But she said, I can't tell you how good I feel. I feel so alive. And it's because her body is starting, that engine is whirring again. It's starting to get up and functioning again. And everybody's story is a little bit different. And I get that. And there might be some of you that are like, listen, that's fine. But I still have a lot of stress and whatever. And so some people do have to customize a little bit. And I will tell you that I do have, at night before I go to bed, I take a magnesium that is a triple blend. One of the forms is a glycinate that is super helpful for your nervous system. And I also take an ashwagandha, which is like gives you a sense of well-being. And ashwagandha as an adaptogenic herb, if you take a thyroid med, be careful about taking ashwagandha. However, helps with sleep, stress, and mood. It's a cortisol helper. Okay. So when you go to my site, which is my first and last name.com, and it kind of messed it up here on Facebook, YouTube. I don't know why. I'll have to fix that again. It goes back and forth between what I put in there. So it's my first last name, KirstenLiebelt.com. Okay. And then for you, TikTok, the link is in my profile. It's in my bio. It's in my bio everywhere, but I can show it here, you guys, but I shouldn't show it over there maybe because they flag me. But when you go, you'll see my face. Okay. And we just talked about the total body reset. These 4 buttons, configuration of, this is the first half, the trio. This is the liver reset, 3 of them that have the liver. This is the gut reset, just the primer and probiotic. And this is all 6 right there. Register with your name. Do not check out as a guest. If you want the bonuses, don't do that. If you want the free shipping, don't check out as a guest. It will keep you from getting your first month in. And that would be so silly. But if you scroll up just a little bit past these 3 free resources, those are all free. And then there's some Amazon stuff, whatever. Right down here, it says actually get sleep right there. Actually get sleep. That's what it says. That's the magnesium and the ashwagandha. So I take 2 of each before bed, but I'll tell you in this conversation today, even though you want better sleep, in this conversation today, magnesium and ashwagandha like that, really actually a game changer for people who have high stress. You got to get your cortisol down. You have to learn how to mitigate a little bit and do things that will make you happy. Probably simple things that you already know to do. Drink more water, go for a walk. We talked the other day about humming. It actually helps to reset your parasympathetic system. Say that 5 times fast. Things like that. Find things that can you can sleep with ocean waves in your ears. You can put a mask. I sleep with a sleeping mask because I have a very bright room, and I don't have dark out shades. Wear a sleeping mask so that you can keep that light out and tell your body it's time to go to sleep. There are so many things that you can do that would be self-care that don't cost you anything, but that you do need to be like, give yourself permission for them. Like, I know that everybody expects this of me, but at this time of the day, I'm actually going to go for a walk. Or I know that everybody expects this, but you have to just erase all of that. And you have to be like, I'm going to go on my own journey. I'm going to make sure that my stress is down, that my sleep is improving. And it might take me a little while. It might take me 6 months, but you can add in things like the magnesium and the ashwagandha. You can do things like that to really help. Some people are looking to get off of those anti-anxiousness meds. And it's important. I think we live in a very high stress society, more so than probably, I won't say ever, because we're not in a war-torn country. So I don't want to overly be dramatic about it. But I do think that we have a lot that's coming at us because we scroll. And so the images that can hit our brain just like this, it's very fast, and you're not able to even slide fast enough. And so you're kind of in a constant, because you might hear a news story or a news headline or something like that, or an image of something you were never meant to see. That happened twice in the month of September. Twice. Graphic things that our spirits were never meant to ingest. So we have to guard our eyes, guard our ears, guard our thoughts, and, create that time. Light the candle, read the book, take the walk, drink the water, get the electrolytes. Be the person who gets up and you take your supplements and you become somebody who is like, I will take care of me now. I have to take care of me because other people are depending on you, like a parent with dementia or a child who's got issues or whatever. People are depending on you, but then you have to be self-aware and take care of yourself, not for selfish reasons, for serving reasons. Okay. Like if I didn't take care of myself, I would have been no good to my mama. And she deserved to be taken care of, but I had to have my wits about me. I couldn't be filled with brain fog and exhaustion. I had to be on it. I had to be on my game to take care of her. And the only 3 months were at the very, very end. She had to be in a nursing home because she couldn't walk anymore. But we were able to take her as far as we could, but I had to take care of me at the same time, right? So there you go. What time in the evening do I take my magnesium, ashwagandha, and turmeric? Yes. I take them right before bed, Jody. You can do it whenever you want, but I take them, Lori says, truth. I take them right before bed. It's like my nighttime ritual. So I kind of have my own system where I'm telling my body it's time for bed now. And, when it comes to that part of it, it's like the last thing that I do before I go to bed is I take my magnesium, my ashwagandha, my turmeric. I actually take more than that. But I always feel like if I tell you guys everything that I take, you'll be like, geez, Kirsten. But I also take the vitamin C because It's time released over 8 hours, and it's really a potent vitamin C. It's from acerola cherries. It's not from like a cheap citric acid situation. So I take a vitamin C, a powerful one, and then I also take my nighttime, my PM packet of my multivitamin, my multimineral, my phytonutrient, and then what else is in my PM one? In my little packet, it's my fish and a vitamin D. So I take all of that before I go to bed. And the reason why is because I know that while I sleep, my liver detoxes. And I know that while I sleep, my cells are healing and restoring. And I know that while I sleep, my body is not focused on digesting food. So it's focused on cellular renewal. So I do that. Then I wash my face and I do my evening skincare. And I do have, like I said, I have a sleeping mask, and I have not nailed the no scrolling. I haven't done that. I get better at it, and then I go back and forth. Depends on because sometimes during the day I'm so focused on certain things, like I'll be talking to you guys, or I'll be creating content, or whatever I'm doing, and the day kind of, and I feel like I haven't even lifted my head to pay attention to what's going on around me, and whatever. So I'm learning how to nail that. But once I put my sleep mask on, and I put my phone away and I do all those things, my body now is I'm going to feel kind of from the magnesium. It's just kind of that nervous system helper. And the ashwagandha doesn't make me feel anything, but when I don't have it, my sleep is, because it's a cortisol helper. So it's helping internally, and I don't even understand to the degree that it is. It's just whatever. But I can feel the decompression, and then I just go to sleep. And I'll tell you, that has been, for me, now I'll be 61 in January. I have fixed my sleep. And that feels so good. I don't fear not getting sleep anymore. I don't, because that's a concern, right? It makes you feel like you're edgy. Like if you have to get up at 3:00 to make a flight, then all of a sudden you can't sleep. You know what that is? And so I don't fear not getting sleep anymore. My whole day now, other than if it's like gloomy and the weather is off, the barometric pressure or something, because I don't take naps. I just feel good. Right. But it's that routine. Give yourself a routine, create it for yourself. Create yourself a shutting down routine so that your body knows that every single night. Now, I will say that if you're a night shift worker, and so your circadian rhythm is off, you might want to consider melatonin instead. I have a melatonin gummy. That's amazing. I can't take it because it makes me feel drunk. But it's called Sweet Dreams, and you can look that up on the site. Very, very potent and good. But that's for somebody who needs their circadian rhythm dealt with. And then there's that one other sleep product. It's called Sleep Health, that you can look it up. They're kind of stinky herbs, but take 3 of those. You could do that with your magnesium instead of the ashwagandha. If you really needed that feeling of, like, it helps you to fall asleep and then you stay asleep. That's the valerian and hops mixture, that really kind of like shuts down, it's like your brain stops working, not working, but it stops running so high, so fast. So that might be a combo for some people. But anyway, fixing your sleep, make it a priority. You'll be so happy that you did. So, all right, I'll see you on Monday at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. And once again, if you are in Minnesota or close by, I do have an in-person event. It's a wellness clinic this Sunday in Maple Grove. So you can reach out to me and say that you want to come, you want to bring a friend, you want to send somebody, whatever. I'd like to hug your neck. And we're going to talk about fat loss through liver health, hair loss from my, let's see. That just paused, I think, on Instagram. Hair loss from my business associate who has been a hairstylist for 29 years, and then stressed out moms and function and longevity from my husband. And we're going to do some autumn soup sampling, etc. So if you're local, that'd be great. I am going to try to stream it into the Facebook group. We'll see how this goes. I don't want to make a promise, but it might be being streamed. Okay. So that'll be a bonus, right? And it'll be on Sunday, Central Standard Time. And probably the clinic part of it, the little mini workshop part of it will be right around 1:20, 1:30 Central Standard Time. Just to let you know, so you can set your alarm. But I'll try to do it. Jody says, see you Sunday. I'm so excited, Jody, and both of your daughters. Like, I get to hug your neck, and that just makes me so happy. So I can't wait to see you. Yay! All right. Have such a great weekend, you guys. Do something for yourself. Do something that's mindful and intentional, because I'll tell you, you can like add up these little behaviors and completely change your life, like become a different person. You and your sister. Perfect, Jody. That sounds fantastic. I love that. All right. I've got you down, girl. I've got you down. And you know what? You're going to get your name in the drawing for the basket of goodies. And then you'll get another name in the drawing for bringing your sister. So there you go. There's a little secret for you. All right. You are welcome, Joan. Have such a great day, you guys. Love you so much. Okay. Don't forget that somebody out there is loving on you. We just haven't met yet. So, all right.